Comcast is committed to bringing access to the internet to all Americans, including rural communities across the country, like Sussex County, Delaware.
We were being left behind. Everybody around us seemed to have internet, but we did not. High-speed internet is one of those good things that we needed to help us move our farming, our small businesses, our recreation forward.
Learn more about how we're bringing our next generation network to more people across the country at comcastcorporation.com/investment in America.
Gold Bond knows that every glow up starts with radiant skin. So choose Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow for a body lotion that's clinically shown to give you smooth, glowing skin. But don't just take our word for it. 88% of people who tried Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow saw glowing skin in just 1 day. Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow. Nourish your skin. Reveal your glow. Buy now on Amazon.
Starbucks cards are the perfect way to say, nice work. Give your team the gift of coffee when you order Starbucks cards in bulk directly from Starbucks. Whether it's a digital or physical card, celebrate employees and clients alike with designs for every occasion. Shop now at StarbucksCardB2B.com.
Welcome to the Women's Rugby Treehouse.
And welcome back to Women's Rugby Treehouse. I am Julia. I am here with my co-hosts as always, Hattie and Sean. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Awesome. So we are in we have just ended week 3 of the Women's Rugby World Cup. We are going to be taking a look at the end of the pool stage. And in the process, we're probably going to preview what's coming up for the quarterfinals. And to get us started, Hattie, please remind us of what we saw last weekend.
Sure thing. So if we start off with probably the most talked about game of the weekend, we've got England versus Australia, 47-7. A lot of the media reaction is that, like, oh my God, this was a scare. It was like they're literally acting like England lost. It is the most insane thing.
Which we love because, like, you should feel that way once.
But I literally, like, got a paper on Monday. Like, I can't remember what paper it was. It wasn't the rugby paper.
Red Roses washed?
No, and it was like, England, like, Australia, scare England. And I was like, didn't they win by 40?
Right. But it was close in the first half, though, because we were coming back from Exeter.
Awesome.
And we were following the game online, and, you know, it was kind of, like, really close.
I honestly thought Australia was going to keep it even closer.
But I think the thing is, like, a lot of England games against, like, top opposition, like, the first 40 is relatively close, and it's the second 40 that they absolutely run away with it.
England last year.
Ireland, England is what I was thinking of. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'm gonna get shellacked. I'm gonna get shellacked by England fans no matter what. It was yet again a performance for me that didn't strike fear in my heart like the Red Roses can and have, but did not this time. And I jokingly said, like, Red Roses washed. But yeah, for the first 10 minutes, I was just like, oh, this might be like a 5-10 point game. It wasn't, which is very on brand for the Red Roses. But
do we think it was a good test for England then?
Right. That's where I'm conflicted.
When I look at, like, the other big ones from that weekend, a lot of the big teams, you could kind of see, like, oh, they have like, that is probably the team that we're going to see over the next couple of weeks. Yeah. With England, I'm like, is it? I know they've got some big injuries, but, like, is that going to be what I see next week?
It didn't seem settled like their teams often feel at this point.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. And obviously, as we go into next week,
I was going to say
we have no word on bots yet, although she did make a post on Instagram that seems as if, like, oh, sorry to scare you guys, but, like, just like, it's not as bad as
I'm okay.
It looked,
and Ellie is out.
And we know that Ellie is out with concussion. A lot of people are like, I think it was Mo Hunt already said this week that it's going to be Emma Singh, so we know that.
Good.
It's a bit of a weird game, really, isn't it?
Yeah, bit of a weird one, and especially so. I guess guess England has Scotland for the quarterfinal, and that's not
That's a proper
as big as
England are Scotland's bogey team.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Although
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
at the moment, though, I do think Scotland are playing well.
You could literally have the best Scotland team ever.
Yeah,
and they
I'm not
still get spanked.
I know,
Right.
but I do think Scotland, we'll go into it when we talk about Scotland later, but they're very, very committed at the moment and they're very physical and they are making some big hits. So I think they can rattle England a little bit. I'm not expecting them to beat them, but they could rough them up a bit.
I think it will be closer than some of the Six Nations games that we've seen, because I think sometimes when they go into the Six Nations, they're like, we're never going to win, like, we're not going to have a chance. This time they actually have something to fight for.
I agree.
So I think that could be a difference.
They love this Scotland team loves to, I mean, it is also a very tight-knit team, and loves to make history, they love a good headline. It would be, I again, I do not think they will beat the Red Roses, but to hold them close would not only like mean a lot to the team, but it would mean a lot for the prospect of, I mean, yes, okay, we're going into another World Cup cycle, but in a much more close term, we know that they are gunning to climb up the ladder at Six Nations. That could be an indicator, because
and to hit WXV1.
And to hit WXV1, because I mean, I don't think there even is a way that, I guess there is a way that Scotland ends up playing France. But it's a difficult one. That is probably not likely. So this is going to be the greatest test. And I think that they relish that. I really feel like the England-Australia game gave us more insight into what we're going to see for Australia versus Canada.
Yeah.
I'm particularly excited for that. We'll talk more about it when we talk about Canada's performance from last week, which was them trouncing Scotland. But I think I came away with more insight into Australia, which was that, like, as I said when they were going to play USA as well, they, like the USA, are stronger than you think. I understand that we don't see them nearly as much as we do a Six Nations team, and that is often why they are always like a little bit discounted. But I don't know.
See, I actually have an opposite opinion.
No way. With me? Go on.
I was in the Toby Carvery Hotel in Exeter, where everyone wants to be.
Folks, she is so happy about this hotel stay. And I need you to know that as an American, I'm like, so
she doesn't really understand why it's so funny.
No, I do. First of all, I like the food idea, I totally get. But for Americans, all 4 listeners who are my family and friends, imagine if, no, that's not even a good one. Imagine if Golden Corral had a hotel, but it was just the, like, you know,
but it was like next to an industrial estate.
Next to an industrial estate, yeah. Oh, Golden Corrals can be anywhere. And are. But no, it's not the entire buffet, because like you're not next to the pizza station, but you're only next to the Thanksgiving all year section.
I'm amazed you don't have carvery in the USA.
Yeah.
I
was amazed to find out they don't really have carveries in Scotland, according to Leslie.
Yeah, yeah, we also didn't know that. Do they have them in Wales though?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a carvery.
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
You should.
But anyway,
sorry.
Anyway, go on.
I assume so. I will say, if you're ever in Exeter going to a rugby game, I would highly recommend the Toby Carvery Hotel. It was very cheap. They had Yorkshire puddings for breakfast. It was £10 for dinner.
They have the right tea.
They had Twinings in the hotel room. And it was
UK listeners coming close.
And it was like a 15-minute walk to the stadium, and it was half the price of anywhere else. And they had free parking. But they're not paying me for that. In fact, I paid them. So no more free advertisement.
No more free advertisement for them or for Sandy Park, which by all accounts was lovely.
It's not my favourite stadium, but it was quite nice.
I really loved it, though. I did love it.
And a bonus of going to Sandy Park when the Chiefs aren't playing is no racism. Kind of.
No, there were some people in the racist Chiefs gear.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a shame. Anyway, stayed at the Toby Carvery Hotel, and they had, weirdly, this Toby Carvery had like a proper bar, like pub area. It was very Anyway, they had
And
a
see,
big
that's weird. And see, that's weird to
My
us. We
local
can't
one
imagine a
didn't.
hotel. We can't imagine a
local one
hotel that
does.
doesn't have a bar area.
They usually do have them.
Good,
this
healthy
is
Just
like-
your
country.
weird one, Hattie. You've got like a weird local one.
Yeah, but I feel like they need to point out that like the Toby Carvery was like here, and then there was like a walkway, and then it was like the hotel. Like it was more like a motel.
They
Oh,
didn't
I
want
see
the
what you
meat
mean.
smell in the rooms.
Yeah. Or they were just built at completely different times, I think.
That's a selling point, surely.
Yeah,
The smells
right.
of meat.
That's my
I
thing.
want to smell gravy at 4 a.m.
There are genuinely hotels here that are like near spice and flavoring factories, and they're like, it smells like vanilla in the morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna go there probably. This is really nailing it.
Anyway,
that's kind of our sum up of. Oh, sorry.
I was in the bar. I was watching it, and loads of the England fans were like, "Aren't Australia supposed to be good?" Because they were basing it on the men's game, and I was like, "It's not really the same." Like,
yes,
Yeah.
they're also at the World Cup,
but like historically, Australia women like aren't
good at sport.
particularly strong. Like,
Not the rugby. Yeah, I see what you
yeah,
mean.
in
they're
sevens,
kind of up and yeah,
but not
they've also
necessarily
had a few
15s.
particularly strong show. Well, I'm thinking like
But
the
then you
2010
say-
World Cup, they had a really strong showing.
Yeah, but they
But
only
that was
turned up to
15
the
years
World Cup.
ago.
Like they didn't play in between then. They went like 5 years without playing a game, or 4 years without playing a game.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think they kind of do have a bit of like well, they're Australians, so they should be good. The opposite of Canada, where everyone expects Canada to be shit.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like super surprised by the scoreline, and I think, to be honest, I felt like Australia were kind of non-existent in that game. Like it was a Red Races game, and the Red Races were playing, and whoever else was a side character.
It became very quiet very fast in the second half.
I will say their fullback that's like 12 years old was very good. Is it Caitlin House?
Caitlin House.
Yeah, she was probably like the most
She's
memorable
great.
person from that game.
Yeah, which it's frustrating because, well, not really frustrating, just sad. But it's just the way that it goes. Australia tends to be a team where players tend to really push the age stuff. They play as long as they can. It's been the way for a while. But we're looking at the Emily Chancellors, which is phenomenal that she's here. She's also very much like a Rachel Malcolm-esque leader, like absolutely should be there. But they do tend to have players who have been around a while. The pipeline, I mean, God, we think about development in Wales is questionable. Like Australia has, I'd say, even more problems because they can't even decide if they do continually want to have a women's 15s team.
I think that's why they've got this group that are like in their 30s, and then they have children.
Yeah.
That was where I was going with that conclusion. Was there's a reason why there is like there are not a lot of girls in their late 20s. Like there's no middle right now.
I think Australia union in Australia is struggling, isn't it? I think if the men do seem like they're on the ascendancy again now, so maybe
they
that
sold
will
out
help.
Whatever stadium it is the other day.
So maybe that will help raise the
Their
profile
alliance.
again, because it has dropped a lot. Like so, they won the World Cup. What was it, 99? The men now. So yeah, hopefully it'll get better for them. And yeah, they sort out their own domestic issues, because I feel like Australia are not achieving what they could achieve.
No, they have a lot of internal. So yes, it's a big code problem. First of all, league is like it's kind of indefeatable sometimes. But otherwise, they also have their own internal arguments all the time about funding, which we on this podcast, all three of us are very used to with the unions that we support. But they've got
and now with Joe Yap leaving, it's
I wonder about that. I was seeing social media chatter about it, and it sounds like what everybody expects. Not necessarily that anybody like has any insight into it, but what it sounds like what everybody expects is that the carousel is going to continue, because that is something that Australia has always done. They just kind of like trade coaches back and forth. Joe Yap is leaving. She's going back to the UK. I don't think she's going to go somewhere else, but they're, what about Walsh again? I don't know who Andy Friend is, but I've been seeing that name bandied about a lot. And then, I completely forgot, and I didn't even tell you guys, sorry. The newest gossip as of yesterday is Fuka is going to go.
Oh, I did wonder, actually.
Wasn't he like assistant coach before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did
I'm
wonder.
not that mad
He
about
has
that,
coached.
actually.
He has coached some of these Wallaroos.
That might be a good shout, to be honest.
I was really nervous you were going to say Michael Checker.
Oh no, I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's safe to have him coaching women.
Or
For like
Warren
a variety
Gatland.
for a variety of reasons. Warren Gatland. Oh
I think
my
with that
God.
we
Okay,
move on
Gatland,
to Canada
Gatland is
versus Scotland.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
do that.
Or Eddie Jones, bad move. Anyway.
Oh my God, you're making it worse.
Canada versus Scotland, 2019. Me and Sean were there. Me and Sean met in person. Sean
We did.
is smaller than I expected. I'm
Oh
officially
my
the
God.
tallest member of
Finally-
Women's Rugby Treehouse.
Finally, someone
not
gets to say
convinced.
Sean
You've got-
is smaller than expected.
You've got taller
Sean is
hair.
always
I've got big hair.
Sean is always saying that every person she meets is smaller than she expected. Which is
It's
why I'm
true.
really excited for one day for her to meet me, because I'll be like, I'm exactly as small as you expected. I told you.
I think I kind of forgot, like, I thought Sean was like, you know, when you get like a rangy 10 or a rangy 12, but like Sean's not,
Yeah,
like she's
I would.
small. And then I forget
I
that
would
I'm
absolutely
like,
believe it, Sean. You do have like 5'6" energy.
yeah.
I'm 5'4".
No, you're not.
Yeah, and you've got
I
3
am.
inches of energy.
We
I was
need to get
literally
measured.
recently. I was recently.
Well, then I'm taller than I expected.
Now, see,
it's your
this
hair.
pod, this
If I
pod
had my
bucks
hair
the
up,
norms. It's a bunch of women
I'm
arguing
going to
about
put
their
my
height.
hair up like this. I'm taller now. There we
And
go.
Sean's adding inches to her
Higher
height,
the
so
hair,
it's just
closer
like
to
the
God.
men. Yeah.
At least I'm not 1 inch, which the WRU site says allow Pierce is.
Yeah, the tallest member of the Welsh women's team ever is 1 inch tall.
Yeah, I found this out recently. I was most
Who
amused.
among us?
Yes, Canada,
What
Scotland.
did you think what did you think of the game you saw?
I really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it. I thought the scoreline flattered Canada a little bit. I think Scotland
I was gonna say
they had a lot of
was rowdy.
possession. Yeah, and I was really impressed with Scotland, the way that they were really intense, and the physicality of Scotland's really impressed me. And they
EVG
played
was
some-
super powered. She was
Oh my
clearly wearing
God.
her lucky pants,
One of
which we
I
all
think-
saw.
I was gonna say, I think it was one of her best, and I really appreciated that. I wish EVG was friend of the pod, but EVG, we all are like very much on your socials or whatever, and I very much appreciated that she did put up one of like best match shots, but she was like looking off into the distance pensively, and she was like trying to think about how I can make the best of knowing that thousands of people saw my butt on TV. And I'm
My
like,
mum
you know
said
what?
at least she was
We
We
wearing
all
those
loved
pants.
it. I was gonna say we all loved it.
That try was such a
Entertainment.
such a great try, and then
she's like trying to
spent half
push.
of it pulling her shorts out. It's like that is superpower.
And like somebody should sponsor her. First of all, it looks great, girl.
She put up the link of where she got them from. So Lounge.
That's also extremely funny. That's awesome.
I don't know how they can wear
If you liked what you
thongs.
saw, and by the way, that really says something if you can hold up to being tackled by a Canadian in your thong.
I don't understand
I'm
how
with
they
Sean.
can
I
wear
don't
thongs.
understand. I don't understand how people can play rugby
Okay,
without
so-
undershorts on.
So,
Especially when
okay,
you're being
so
lifted.
I know.
This was a rare moment when my wife happened to be walking across the room and it always happens like this, right? And so like I was laughing and she looked up and she was like, oh, that's funny. No, but all she was just like, that's funny, it's her butt. As two lesbians, we've seen it. And then I was like, that's so interesting, she doesn't wear jumper shorts. And she was like, I don't know what that means. And I was just like, well, anybody who plays in, and I have explained rugby to her a few times, but I'm like, yeah, anybody who plays in, I've told her just about forwards and backs. I was like, anybody who plays in the forwards, generally, you should be wearing spandex under your shorts because like we grab a lot. And then I went around and I was asking some other rugby friends, and it turns out that's an old people thing to do. That's what old people did back in the old days. So as an old people back in the old days, apparently, first of all, no jumper shorts. Second of all, or compression
Pants up
shorts,
to
I guess,
here.
if you're not a jumper. And then the pants. Okay, yes. One of the many things is that we used to have to tuck in our shirts. Remember, girls? We used to have to tuck in our shirts.
No.
But also,
Yeah.
apparently,
Oh, yes.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
shut
we
the fuck
did.
up,
We
Sean.
did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We used to get yelled at by the ref for it. Also, apparently, it is super common to be playing in a thong. Apparently, it's extremely comfortable.
So I
You tried,
Have-
I assume.
No. I have
You can admit
tucked
it. I
in.
just like the only reason I didn't try is because I didn't have one. I probably would have tried.
I don't like thongs. This is too personal, but I don't want it going up my butt.
I used to run in them. I run in them.
Exactly. That's all I meant. Is
I
that
have
like
run in
I
them.
was hearing from athletes that like this is a thing. That's all I meant. I wasn't getting lascivious.
I didn't mind so much when I was younger. Maybe it is an age thing.
But right, multiple things. Number one, I have tucked my shirt in, but only when like it was clearly that they'd bought the shirts for the men's team and they are so massive they don't have to my knees. So I tucked it in. Right. If it actually fit, I didn't bother. Two, I'm 28 and I can assure you every jumper I've ever played with has worn undershorts or at least very big pants.
Right. I know. I shouldn't have. Okay, so that is very telling of like pack play is that I kept calling them jumper shorts. I meant compression shorts. You can wear them if you're not a jumper. I was a hooker my whole career. I didn't jump, but
They called them
always
cycling shorts in the 90s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they called them jumper shorts
Cycling.
here in the early 2000s.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've always called them undershorts.
There we
They were
go.
called
See, if you said
cycling.
undershorts here, we would have assumed that you just meant underwear.
Yeah, but I have the only person I've ever met who's played rugby in a thong was on number 10. And I feel like
And
that
that
says
was
a lot.
just I was just gonna say that was just because of the implication.
She was a 10
get
and
it, you're hot.
she was straight.
Was she hot?
No.
Oh. Loser.
Anyway,
She's not gonna watch
point
it.
of being
talking about again?
We're not friends, it's fine.
We are
Bongs.
being
Thanks.
super inclusive on our rugby podcast.
But my favourite part of the game came after the game. It came yesterday, which is that besties played each other, guys.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this was the game where
They
besties
played against each other.
It was very fun.
Oh my days.
If you didn't know. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so unfortunately, especially if we were bringing this content to people who are new to the game or whatever, that's not going to make so much sense. So we're going to rewind. World Rugby or the Rugby World Cup account posted
Official
on their
account.
reels. The official account, but with the background that we have given you guys before is that rugby is a very queer sport, especially women's rugby. There happens to be lots and lots of inter and intra team couples. One of those that is the joke here being that is very well known is that Rachel Malcolm, who's captain for the Scotland team, and Julia Schell, who is one of the stars of the Canadian team, are together. It's why Rachel Malcolm left Loughborough Lightning to go to Trailfinders, all of that. I say all of that because like that was a huge move, and it's also a thing that everybody knows. They even have TikToks about it, about them being together and being opponents. So if you're a fan of women's sports at all, you have probably encountered, from your sport, you have encountered at some point an official body. Perhaps if you're a soccer fan, you remember Christy Mewis and Sam Kerr together at the World Cup. We had our own. And Hattie's, should I say that? Your friend is the one who crocheted? I'm sorry, if you're watching this, Hattie told us that she knows you.
Someone I vaguely know is the one
okay.
who crocheted them, yes.
Oh, okay. So there's a video of a lovely fan giving Rachel Malcolm and Julia Schell crocheted scrunchies, which are very in fashion right now. And one is Scotland colored, one is Canada colored. There's a cute joke or whatever, but you can tell by their body language. And then also you should know ball, but you can tell by their body language that like, so for me personally, I don't touch my friends like that. I don't think you guys touch your friends like that. There was a lot of like midsection touching that like, when you're a queer woman, like you're with that woman. But it got posted as opponents, handshake emoji, besties. Folks. I can't believe they did this. Wait, what is the title? What is the title, Hattie? I can't believe that they posted this at the Quadrennial International Lesbian Festival, also known as the Rugby World Cup.
Do you know what? I saw it and proceeded to die laughing.
Okay, so the first thing Hattie did was bully them. And then immediately sent it to me and Sean.
My comment was, and they were roommates.
And they were roommates.
I tell you what, though, it was Alice Soapers, though.
Oh,
her comment on it.
That's what it was.
I was howling. I was howling. I was like, oh my God.
So
She's like, they're lesbians.
lesbians, Stacey. I can't believe you did this to one of the foremost celesbian couples
And
at the
then
World Cup.
somebody else who I don't know who it is, and I'm really sorry, it was just like a random person. But besties.
I, besties. And by the way, when you start a sentence with I, you know it's a Scot. So this is somebody who was just like, yeah, I know Rachel Malcolm. I know about her being besties.
Oh my God.
Then Alice posted on her story being like, don't worry guys, I got permission to post this. So I'm imagining that Alice Soper messaged either Julia Shell or Captain Dr. Rachel Malcolm to be like, one, have you seen this too? Can I say this? And he said, yeah.
I like that. I like that especially because
I love it.
whether it was her or her partner Bailey, who did reach out and message, already had an open line of communication because Alice and her partner Bailey are the ones who came out with the Queerest Rugby World Cup record thing that went to Coach Jackie, that then went viral and went everywhere. So she's just coming to this as an academic. I'm studying this. Is it cool if I clown on World Rugby for you?
Yeah. But by the time I'd sent it to the group chat, we'd all taken the piss. Toby had said about the quadrennial International Lesbian Festival. I said that's going in the pod.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Toby, that was you. Sorry, go on.
Julia had then woken up because she's 5 hours behind. And in like the hour that this had happened, and me, Alice Soper, and the random Scottish person who we don't know bullied them. And I screenshotted it. It had been posted on Rugby Struggles. It's the whole thing. They took the post down and they re-uploaded it, just being like, scrunchies.
Rugby, no. So this is feeding my
and now it's going viral on Reddit.
They should have just put,
which is very funny.
What should they have put? Lesbos.
Right, exactly. And so I mean, and so that was like I don't know.
Sorry, it's just really funny.
No, I lost it. You're absolutely right. What should they have said? Just lesbos? I mean,
let's go lesbians. That's what they should have.
Let's go lesbians. I think it's crazy that they don't lean harder into this. I think the same thing about soccer as well. I think you're both so, and I say this, and we're not going to veer off on topic. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But I say this in contrast as a huge WNBA fan as well. Now, the WNBA leans right into it. And they make tons of money. They have they have power. They invented the phrase power straight, which, by the way, every rugby team also has. So integrate that into your conversations.
I think it's like a cultural thing with football and rugby being very like, oh, we're heterosexual.
We can't say
being accused of being woke and all that shit.
I was gonna say we can't say what rugby and soccer have in common that is different from the WNBA, but like, you know what it is. But if you say it, it's woke, and we're gonna get canceled again.
We're already the wokest podcast on this network.
We are the wokest podcast.
We're wokey McWoke face.
Yeah.
For some reason,
New Zealand versus Ireland. Surprising? Question mark. Unhappy Irish people! Exclamation mark. 40-0.
And my answer to both of those is no, and yeah. No, I'm not. No.
I'm surprising they got nilled.
I'm surprised they got
yes,
nilled, yeah.
That part is.
I'm not really that surprised by the result, are we? I don't think so.
I said this last time as well. I'm just confused. I'm not like dissing them or anything. I don't know what happened between the Six Nations and now for Ireland.
Injuries.
Some.
Jinx!
Sorry. Some, but some people came back. Their regular leader is back. And then this goes back to a point that we have made before about other teams. This goes to a point that we made about other teams, which is if your performance hinges on one good player or even like two good players, you're in trouble anyway, because it's not safe to do that, and then strategically it's bad. But also you end up, I'm sorry, but you end up with situations like, for example, Alcal. You end up with Aoife Wafer situations where it's just like, without that player, things are noticeably different. And it's rugby. This isn't chess. Like, you're gonna get hurt.
I do think, and this goes for, we've seen it on a much larger scale with Ireland men, and we're seeing it now with Ireland women because they've got very similar kind of setups in the way that it's working. Is that it's built on a house of cards and it can come tumbling down very, very quickly. It's not it doesn't have longevity. If you compare it to, I hate saying this, but the English programs, both men and women,
Yes.
is that it has very, very strong foundations. And that's why England men, annoyingly, keep going really far in World Cups. It's the reason why the Red Roses are so successful. There is such a strong platform and such a strong base. Unfortunately, what we see with Ireland in men's and women's is that there is kind of, it builds up and everything, nothing's quite there in terms of development yet. And it gets there and it gets there, it gets there. And then the ego gets really big. And then when it falls so spectacularly. And unfortunately, it tends to fall at quarterfinals. In World
I was
Cups.
just gonna say, and the way that you outlined it there is, it is something that happens to other teams. I don't want to single out Ireland as saying that like this is a singularly Ireland problem, but that exact timeline that you just laid out is almost uniquely Irish. Only because it is something that has happened, I would say 2 for sure times back to back just now, or is happening now. Maybe even 3 if you're going all the way back, but like we can just go back to 2017 and we already know. It goes back to stuff that we've talked about before in terms of what Ireland is or isn't doing with development. We know that it's not lack of talent. It's in their case, I don't know. I don't understand IRFU very well. It's part of what frustrates everybody, but definitely.
One of the things that's really surprised me about Ireland this World Cup is how poor their line-out's been.
It's very weird to be dropping set pieces for me for Ireland.
Yes, exactly. Because it's been pretty good. Like their set piece has been.
Hattie, you've been looking at it actually, and as somebody who is a particular line-out nose, have you noticed what has changed? Has there anything changed, or is it just that people have left?
So one, Dorothy Wall isn't there. She was there.
She makes
line-out caller during the Six Nations.
That was what I was wondering.
There's like a plethora of different things. You can't blame everything on your hooker, but Niamh Jones' set piece is not her strong point, whether it's the scrum because she's very small. Line out throwing has, she's improved, but she's still not the best. And that does play a factor. They're jumping and everything else. So I know a while ago they had Paul O'Connell in to help with the line out, which if I had any men's forward coach come in to help with the line out, it would not be Paul O'Connell because the Irish men's team's line out is also
that was what
awful.
I was like, oh, she can say something good because I wouldn't.
And after he came in, there was like a notable difference where they started making their jumps really complicated and they were overcomplicating it. And if you look at the Irish line out, which Sean takes this out of.
Sean does not like the shuffling.
She doesn't like the shuffling, but they do it to such an extreme where like it goes wrong. And
I was going to say it completely muddies it. You lose. You lose any momentum.
I think the really sad thing is,
on the other side of the call, I can tell you, I fucking hate that. Again, I was a career hooker. It is a lot.
It gets really muddy and it just doesn't really work. And they never, like, they could have 3 or 4 bad lineouts in a row, and usually as a lineout caller or somebody in a lineout, anybody would go, right, okay, we're going back to basics. You're just gonna call front ball or middle ball, and we're just gonna basic bosh. We're gonna get the ball. We're gonna go. They don't do that.
Yeah.
They seem to make it. I was going to say,
who used that effectively was South Africa. They don't do it.
They make it more complicated.
They make it more complicated. And you're like, what are you doing?
I think in those situations, because I've seen Wales do it as well, it's almost as if they're so coached to do it a certain way they can't think outside of that. Oh, it's not going. So not going well, what we've been told to do, the plan. And it's like they can't move on to plan B.
It's a very rugby instinct to get frustrated at something not working several times and being like, well, maybe if we just add something, or if we make it more complicated, or if we make it's all with the intent of make it harder to read. Maybe we'll just confuse them. And unfortunately, because it's a game of 15 people, you also get confused.
The sad thing is with Ireland, and she's very young, pod fave Ruth Campbell is probably the
Absolutely,
most gifted natural line out operator, jumper caller. I believe she was calling the Clovers line out last year. She's called for, is it Railway Union that she plays for? Like, if you've seen the clips of her, she was like 18 and dominating lineouts in AIL. Like, it was insane. She's the most natural one. She doesn't call lineouts for Ireland. Instead, you have Dorothy Ward, who isn't necessarily a natural lineout caller. You have Sam Monaghan calling it, who
definitely isn't.
Definitely isn't. You have Fiona too, and that isn't quite working either. Ruth is very young. I hope that after this World Cup she's given that, because none of the others have that ability. She's the only one with it.
And it has to be consistent. If it's different person every other lineup or every few, right? And the lack of, like, the thing about the lineout, we can have a whole episode about it. The thing about the lineout is that I know how it looks on TV, but the parts that are moving and the people who aren't talking, because you don't want to give things away, there's actually a lot less than you think in terms of signals that are being given ultimately to the two people who need to know the best. And then obviously the lifters need to know, no disrespect, but you have to pick people who not only know how to call it, but like are decent communicators. Ruth Campbell is, other than Dorothy Wall, everybody you just named for me isn't
I also don't think that they have particularly good lifters. Which is a very underrated or very unlooked at thing, because it is such a basic thing, right? But if you look at somebody like Eva Gallagher from Scotland, she's one of the best lifters I've seen, especially for a back rower as a lifter. She's incredible.
She's absolutely insane.
Ireland don't really have that, and the thing that seems to go wrong with their line out is the timing.
I'm sitting and thinking about it. I can't think of somebody that I really like lifting in Ireland.
It's a really good point, but I
never thought of that.
It's such a small thing, but like, I think that's one
key, though, isn't it?
The main differences between the women's game and the men's game right now is that you have key lifters in the men's game, and we just don't really have it yet in the women's game. We have EVG. I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head that I'm like, this is someone who lifts really well.
Actually, you know what? Are we still talking about? No, we finished talking about Scotland. Another great lifter and a great communicator in the lineout is Christine Belial, who is now going to be back. But having her and Evie together as lifting is going to be disastrous it's going to be great.
Yeah. But yeah, it's such an underrated thing because it affects your jump and it affects so many different things. It affects the setup of your maul as well. There's so many layers to this. And unfortunately, every single part of the Irish lineout is subpar, which means that the lineout itself is not working and they're overcomplicating it. And that's my opinion on the Irish lineout. The timing is wrong. Everything is wrong. They need to just strip it back.
And unfortunately, I mean, even if for some reason all of their set piece coaches were listening to this and they're like, oh my God, that's a great idea. The saddest part of this is that you can't fix it tomorrow. Like,
oh no,
that's the really painful part of coaching set pieces, but especially the line out, is that getting it to change has to be a long process, just because like there are going to be so many misfires. It's just how lineouts work. It's not about the team.
I think lineouts take longer to fix than anything else on the pitch.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yep. Because there's only so many you can do in a training session before your arms fall off.
Well, and now that we are finally training women in the elite space the way you should be training an elite athlete in that space, they're not. You're not going to be doing set pieces to failure. It's a really bad idea. Yeah.
So France
brings
v
us
South
to-
Africa.
One thing, do we think that the Black Ferns, because I kind of feel like they went up a little bit of a level on the weekend from the previous games.
That was the
So-
Black Ferns you expect to turn up to a World Cup.
Exactly. So
I think that's what we're going to see for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
have
much
to be
what I was
honest,
going to ask.
it was the Black Ferns that I didn't realise existed in 2025 because we haven't seen it in any year
haven't
since
seen
the
it
World
yet.
Cup.
It was
Not
the
even
one
in
it was,
Pack 4.
No.
I was just going to say, it was the one that when we discussed Pack 4, that we were like, we expect that this will have to happen if they want to make the World Cup work. And so, like, it did arrive. It just took a while.
Yeah.
They were looking really good. And Renee Holmes' kicking was
Which is
really
what we
good.
want.
I just kind of fell in love a bit with Renee Holmes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Braxton
like,
Sorensen
oh,
McGee again.
I was just going to
insane.
say, having Renee is like really if I were on the Black Ferns team, that would be like a really grounding factor for me, because it's really exciting that you have Braxton Sorensen McGee because she's so promising, so young, but she also offers so many different skills. However, we know, and we were in fact just talking about, like, you can't always rely on super young players. You don't want to put them in that position, especially on the World Cup stage, and you have Renee Holmes. So, yeah, really.
It's making the back three conversation for New Zealand so difficult, and this is why if we hark back to people being like, why has Ruby Tui been dropped? Like, I literally don't know who to pick out of the top three, because the top three, the back three,
all of them have had good games,
were incredible, and then you're like, what about Caitlin Vahakolo? What about Aisha? Like,
yeah, I know.
It was mad.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
I'm so excited for the semi.
Exactly.
Sorry.
It's fantastic because no. It's just because despite their storied history and everything, yes, depth was at one point, especially during Pack 4, the depth was a question. We all knew that there had to be more to the story, but no, it's not that big a problem.
But also, like, in most other teams, you're like, right, okay, this is like how good our back three are. How about we move somebody into the centre? Well, you're not going to remove Sylvia Brunt or Stacey Wacker, are you?
Stacey Wacker,
And then you're like, oh, well, what if we move Sylvia Brunt to 10? We're like, well, you're not going to do that because you've got...
And that would be...
Rohe Demant. Like,
yeah, I was going to say that would be a waste of Rohe Demant.
Brunt was really good on it.
There is just nothing. There's no movement. It's just you've got to drop people out of your back three.
It's crazy. I was going to say, it's crazy to have depth at back three especially when, I mean, not every other team, but several other teams, that is one of the absolute worry points. So,
and it's not just like, oh, we've got depth at back three, but like,
I was going to say, I was really hoping that would get Sean in, because that is definitely one of Sean's soapboxes.
They're all like world class. Like, no, like, we're talking about some of the best players in the world. Like, we're talking about the actual GOAT. We're talking about a person who helped them win the World Cup. And we've got the two future top try scorers for New Zealand.
It's nuts.
Anyway, France versus South Africa. A bit of a surprising result for some people. 57-10. There was some questionable disallowed tries, but it was just a really fun game. What did you guys think?
It was really fun. It was really fun, and I don't agree. That's honestly pretty bang on for what I expected. I was really happy with South Africa's performance, considering.
I don't think I expected France to win by that amount. France really turned up on the day, and they were really good.
That was what it was that there was big France improvement.
It was a big France improvement. I wasn't, when we look at the France that played Italy, and even the France that France scored 84 on Brazil, but like South Africa put 66 on them. Like, it was just a bit.
They were kind of a bit meh, weren't they, in the early games?
Yeah,
but they were proper. They were really strict.
Yes,
that was some of the concern.
That was the best France game I've watched all year. Actually, that's probably the best France game I've watched in a very long time.
In a few years. Yeah, well, and we were saying when we were watching it, I mean, you guys were there, but when we were discussing it, that was also the France, like we talked about New Zealand, that was the France we expected to show up the whole time. So,
yeah.
In that was, I guess, what I meant by it wasn't surprising, insofar as, like, if you're gonna turn it on, it was the time.
I think as well, like, I kind of got on the hype train of being like, South Africa, let's go scare.
Oh yeah, France. Absolutely.
But like, South Africa rested people, and it was a bit of change.
Which, by the way, we discussed last week. I still think both sides had good merit. But ultimately, I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a very fun game.
It was great.
PBS had an absolute stormer,
Yeah,
but
Absolutely player
she's
of the match.
still. Do you know what she was? But I'd say the second best player on the pitch that day was
Who
Nadine
was it?
Roos.
Ruiz was
She
really
was
good.
second. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was absolutely a battle of the nines, and
Yeah.
nine very
And
loosely
they were
put
going
Roos.
after each other as well,
I was
which was
gonna
what
say,
was
it
so
was
good.
amazing. What do
Which
we
was
say in the
exactly
chat?
what we
were like,
wanted.
oh, it's the queen and this is the pretender to the throne.
I was gonna say the
So
pretender
good.
to the throne. It absolutely is. But
That's it.
truly, and we were talking with our South African friend Lisa earlier. But honestly, I PBS is the women's Antoine Dupont, and I hate doing that. I don't mean to, but I only say that because they are very similar and they are friends, and I don't think that would insult her. However, in terms of holding on to that title, I feel silly for not having Nadine Roos. I didn't know your game, and I'm sorry, and I was wrong.
And she did PBS better than PBS because at like 60 minutes she moved to 10.
Which, by the way, this pod will always say whenever we get on this topic, this pod stands behind PBS 10.
I want to
Make
go
it happen.
back
We
to the
wanna see
glory
it.
days of Laure Sansus at 9,
I
Pauline Bourdon at
know.
10.
Oh
If
my
you lived through
God.
that era of women's rugby, you know how utterly chaotic but beautiful it was.
No,
good
You
old
did
days.
not know
and
what
you
was
know what
coming
was-
next.
No, and they had Tremoulier. So
Oh,
it was just
yeah.
Oh yeah.
absolute. So it was
Chaos.
absolute chaos.
Chaos. I love it.
Oh my God. What
I
what a
miss
French
it so
heyday.
much.
I
Do
was
you know
gonna
what?
say,
It was
we
the
can't-
Frenchest French rugby has ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had, was it Banet on the wing, just like stamping people?
Right. Oh my gosh, we're remembering so many.
Oh,
It
the
might
good
have
old
even
days.
been on the was it on the tail end of Agricole? It doesn't matter. Fantastic.
Take us back.
Yeah, take us back. Anyway, my come up for that one was I'm really glad that both were already through. I really want to see how both of them go. In terms of preview for both of those teams, South Africa definitely has an uphill battle this weekend. They'll be facing the Black Ferns. I think, and as our friend Lisa was saying, I really do think they're gonna pull. I keep comparing it to like the idea of what we had in America for our ice hockey team, Miracle. But like it just if any time it feels like it's the box time. I don't think they're gonna win, but I really think they could surprise us. They have the entire nation behind them, which is really
I feel like it's going to be a really good setup. So you know how like Japan
It'd be a
kept
really
playing.
good advertisement for rugby.
Yeah, so you know how Japan men kept playing South Africa and like not winning. And then 2015 World Cup, Miracle in Brighton. I feel like this is the start of that. Like we're gonna
absolutely.
have like I really, really hope that they, even if we don't get South Africa in Ocean 6, as we called it earlier, even if we don't get that, I really, really hope that New Zealand and South Africa tour each other. And because aren't South Africa, the men Bucks and the men Ferns are playing each other instead of whatever's going on in men's rugby, they're playing each other next year instead of doing the rugby championship.
Yes, they're doing a
I think
tour
so.
thing.
Add the women in.
Yeah. I agree.
We are having a banner day for amazing ideas that nobody is going to listen to us about, but we're right.
Call us.
Folks, you heard it here first.
Billy B, call me.
Sir Bill Beaumont.
I will
First of all,
stop
I
comparing
want-
you to Billy Bearham if you call
That's
I
me.
still
fine.
love him when he was on Question of Sport,
I
which was
just
my
wanna
favorite
say-
TV program as a kid.
Of
Sorry.
course it was, Sean.
I just want to say
Explains so
rugby
much.
value- That isn't rugby values, not letting me say rugby values. Rugby values. Now, Bill, now that I got your attention, you need to listen to all 5 or whatever 2-hour episodes of this podcast. And then you need to take our brilliant ideas, including the ones that breach copyright. We need to integrate.
Ocean 6. Is he still in
Ocean
charge?
6.
Of
Billy
Ocean
B?
6.
Isn't it the other guy now?
Did Bill can't direct
And
the
since
ocean.
Ocean
Yeah, I
6
did, yeah, I
doesn't
did.
exist, I
11.
keep because Ocean 6 doesn't exist, and like
I've lost the plot.
until truly an hour ago, like we had never said it. Now when we say Ocean 6, I keep thinking of Ocean Gate, and I'm just like, he would.
Oh, Ocean Gate.
Yeah.
I was thinking of films, not
No. Oh no, I get it now.
Yeah.
It's great. We've been podcasting a lot today.
This is my
It's
third
been
pod
good.
of the day.
God, you're braver than the troops.
Yeah.
Speaking of braver than the troops,
So let's talk about the people that aren't in the World Cup anymore.
they are braver than the troops.
USA versus Samoa, 60-0. The USA couldn't quite do enough to overcome the points difference needed to qualify for the quarterfinals. But silver lining,
Frida
Frida
Tafuna.
Tafuna.
Yeah.
She is.
She is the silver lining. She is currently the top try scorer in the competition. Obviously, she won't score any more tries, unfortunate. And if you look on the World Rugby website, I do believe they have her down as scoring 6, but she did actually score 7. So please sort that out ASAP.
Bill.
Billy B. Don't think you're actually in charge anymore, but it's fun to say your name.
We actually have no idea who's in charge.
Isn't
And we
it that-
think you don't either.
isn't
They
it
don't
that
know about
other guy-
lesbians. That's who's in charge.
They don't know about lesbians. Oh, is it? It's not Gilpin, is it? No, he's the CEO of something.
I don't really care.
Who
I
cares?
don't think it's
I'm just-
Billy
It's
anymore.
some man
Anyway.
I don't go. Oh,
It's
no,
gonna be
the Australian.
1950.
It's the Australian, and everybody complained about him.
Yeah, it's going to
That's
be
right.
like 2057, and I'm still going to be blaming Bill Beaumont. Tafuna.
It's legal to do.
Yeah. Tafuna. So do we guys think... So number 8 in the USA, I think, has kind of like a weird mystique about it. You've got Rachel Johnson. You've got Kate Zachary. Both incredible. Do we think Frida Tafuna is the next
Yes.
one off the line? Yes.
I do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do think actually, I do think I have a whole podcast for it, so I'm not going to get into it. I understand that right now.
Do you know what? She wouldn't shut up about American rugby, so we had to give her another podcast.
And by the way, listeners, it works. They gave me another podcast. So, that being said, but bother your bosses, they'll give you a promotion. I understand at this time, Mackenzie Hawkins is next in line to be captain. I don't know about all that. Not ready. Again, it's not this podcast to be talking about that performance. That said, I think Tafuna could be looking at our next captain. So
See, I was going to say Ricky J.
I would love that, especially because she's still comparatively young. I would absolutely love that. I think, unfortunately, I think a lot is going to ride on whoever comes in next to coach. I'm very curious who it can be. As we said earlier, there's been an announcement that Sione Fukafuka will be leaving after the World Cup, but our World Cup is over, so he's leaving. He's going back to Australia. Perfectly decent chance that he goes and coaches the Wallaroos when Joe Yap leaves. But that said, depending on who comes in, and I say that because if it is somebody who doesn't know these players all that well, or like what they mean to American rugby, or know the vibes of American rugby, because just like every other rugby nation, by the way, like we have our own rugby culture and our own rugby vibes.
It's very gay.
It's very gay. It's very progressive. It's incredibly inclusive and also very diverse. But I say all of that because, for better or for worse, coming into women's rugby, especially if you're not already a women's rugby coach, which is how it often happens. It's great that Fuga had, but Rob Cade hadn't. There tends to be, and I don't want to open up a conversation about it, but there tends to be a belief that Islanders are just the best players, and they tend to be put into leadership positions in general. I don't know why, but that could happen. And then also some coaches like personalities of one way and some like another. Ricky J has a big personality. I'd love it. I think it's bang on. But we tend to go for more quiet, level-headed captains. I don't know if you noticed. So I don't know.
Didn't Kate Zachary go into a press conference a couple of weeks ago yelling at Alice Soper?
Okay, but wouldn't you?
Yeah, she did.
I think Ricky Jay is like the perfect next step off the line.
I was gonna say,
after Kate Zachary.
I think she's extremely American rugby. I think she is
Yeah.
I think she is face of the league stuff.
Yeah, and that is would be a derogatory thing if it was an English man saying it, but very positive from us woke women.
It's allowed, and I'm the only American on the pod, so it's allowed.
Then we talk about mine and Sean's horrendous day. Wales versus Fiji, 25-28. My main takeaway from this...
there's both a lot to talk about and very, very little to talk about.
It was the worst match of my life. One
of the worst performances I've ever seen. And what really upset me was that is not what people were saying. Sorry, go on.
My main takeaway, right, is that we did score more tries than Fiji.
We did.
However, there is this thing in rugby called a conversion, which adds extra points.
You have to do it. And Wales, historically known for making them.
Especially in World Cups.
Especially Vicky or Bevan.
And we missed every single one. Now,
because of Wales and the decisions that they have made, there was no one else to do them.
Well, Lakey George did one and missed it. Arguably, she had the hardest one.
Okay. Oh, yes, I'm not saying that like she should have made hers or whatever, but it is a little bit inarguable that of the two there is a large gulf between places.
However,
not live kicking.
Let's say, very importantly, Wales does not have a kicking coach. In fact,
we can tell. It can't be Rich Bevan.
We have an attack coach who is also our backs coach, who had only been, I believe, an S&C development coach beforehand.
Something like that.
So really qualified.
But apparently, according to some Instagram comment, he's incredible.
Oh, don't get me started on that Facebook comment that got me riled. He's the best coach in the world,
I just don't understand.
According to some old white man on Facebook.
But I have actually heard that from several people, including a few people who even know ball, but only men's ball. Have told me that
he was a decent player. I think sometimes
I think what you meant is he was a decent player.
Yeah, he was a good player, and I think that
people
happens a lot of these guys. Exactly. So they think, oh, they'll just be a great coach,
which isn't true. And what kills me is that we say that often and loudly in women's rugby because there's an instinct to just push any good player. You'd assume they're going to go be a coach as well. Like, no, some people make dog shit coaches. Some people aren't meant to coach some teams and are meant to coach others. And I bring that up because this is one of them. Yeah, because we saw Jon Cunningham beat his old team.
I don't think
So his much improved Fiji.
Yeah, although
I'm sorry, they were much.
Their set piece was bad. They got the worst discipline in the World Cup.
Their line out was worse than Wales's.
That's true.
Which is something.
I just
actually went all right for Wales.
Johan has come in and he's basically done what he did with Wales, which was come in at a little, literally basic.
That's true.
Basic structure.
But then doesn't that bode worse for Wales then?
No, because he ruined them in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
And I think there is so much that Sean Lynn has to unpack.
Do we know now?
Sean Lynn inherited Johan's contracted players.
Absolutely
his
did.
Coaching staff. There's
bad
a lot.
habits.
There's a lot there.
Did.
Lack of fitness.
Yeah.
Oh, the fitness side is definitely something that got worse.
The fitness was, and that was kind of where
I gotta say, Wales. I don't think Wales were quite as terrible as you think, Julia. In the sense of they were bad in the first half, and Fiji were much better.
I was gonna say the overwhelming thing that I have read was that actually it was just the first half that was bad, and that's fine, and that absolutely might be true that I am viewing it that way. However, I don't know. I'm also just looking at it as almost. I mean, obviously, I prefer Wales, right? But.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Wales were amazing.
Oh, I mean this. But all I meant was that this is the one that was touted widely and loudly to be the one that was going to be a for sure win.
I think Fiji went into this game wanting it more.
Yes,
Like they had
targeted
more.
it.
Yeah, they this was the game they were targeting, whereas Wales were kind of targeting Scotland and
But
Fiji.
so then
Yes.
why? But so then why? Because they
know.
were talking a big game before. They were saying that their hearts were all in it.
But
I agree. I
and I
completely
think
agree.
the thing is, I think they put their head down halfway through the first half, and they managed to pick it up going out into the second, which they haven't been able to do. So that was an
That's true.
improvement.
That's true.
They managed
That's
to actually score tries, and not just score tries, but score backs
That's-
tries, which is
That's
impressive.
true.
There was a try that was disallowed that shouldn't have been disallowed, frankly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then also, I don't
Fully
think
agree.
one of the Fijian conversions should not have counted because the coach was there holding the ball. So,
Which is not allowed.
It's not allowed. I also don't really care, but I get it.
I
But
do
get
think
it. It's a law. You're right.
we were unlucky. I think Wales were
Yep.
a bit unlucky to lose in the end. We were the better side in the second half. Fiji fell off massively, but we only really
That's
have
fair.
ourselves to blame though.
and
Like, I
in
think
the end,
that
it comes down to the kicking. We left 10 points on the pitch.
That
I don't think we
and
have
see,
the confidence either. Like we just
right,
don't
and-
seem to have.
Kira put her head down, and it was just like you could literally see it like sapped out of her.
Yeah.
And coming off my own severe hurt from the USA Australia match, I look at that and I'm just like, yeah, ultimately though, like when you get over the hurt, like you do have to look at it and just be like, those were the points that you needed.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I've never felt so depressed at a match. Like when the final whistle went, I was just so depressed. It took me like a couple of days to process it almost. It was
I
a
mean, that's
really
the
hard
Welsh
defeat.
heart, man.
It was, and it's not to take anything away from Fiji.
No, not at all. I say that complimentary. Like that's the love.
Fiji were amazing in that first half.
Yeah.
And it was really genuinely, not to sound patronizing, just to see them all so happy after Will Flush. But yeah, it was
mostly
tough.
yeah.
It does. Whenever I see like smaller or like tier 2 or whatever teams win, whether it's be men's rugby or women's rugby, and they beat like what's supposed to be better opposition, I'm always like, oh yeah, that feels really great. But I do wish that the bigger opposition wasn't consistently Wales.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Why is it
now
why
that
is it always
I absolutely
us?
agree.
I know.
Anyway, Spain versus Japan, 29-21 to Japan.
A lot of fun.
That was
a lot of fun.
This is one of those games where I feel like the player of the match should have been from the losing team, because whilst Japan were the better team, Argudo, in my opinion,
would it have been that? I was gonna say because
Argudo was hands down
few.
the best player on the pitch.
She's brilliant.
Absolutely balled out.
Yeah, she was just. We don't really get to see her play 15. Like she has, I think, the last 2 games. Usually at international level, we see her play 10, whereas I think at Toulouse she's normally playing 15.
It's really like 50-50. I went to go look and I like looked at old Toulouse pictures because I was curious. And it was like half and half. Yeah.
Oh, really?
She is so fun at 15.
She's such a good outside half, though. Like she's such a good player.
It felt like she was playing with more. I don't know whether it was confidence or freedom, because it does feel like she almost always plays with confidence, which I love. I say that complimentarily. I think
she's
more
probably
players
the second most confident rugby player in the world, women's rugby player.
Yeah.
I was going to say first, and then I thought of who the first one is, and I took it back.
Who's the first?
Her head hurts right now. Leave her alone.
Don't know who you mean.
And whatever. It's not the episode for that.
But yeah, I thought I love Japan and I love Spain, so like I was always going to love this game.
I think Japan were very stereotypically Japanese, and Spain were very stereotypically Spanish, and that's why it was wild.
Yeah, that was what made it so fun, and it's the same reason why we were discussing earlier an earlier in the year match between Japan and South Africa, and one of the reasons why it was so fun is because you saw 2 very different styles, and this was also one where you saw 2 very different styles. I almost want to call them complementary, just complementary in terms of like, you made a really good rugby game for me to watch. Thank you.
Yeah.
They really, they made for fun viewing. It made for an exciting, and I mean the scoreline shows that it made for an exciting game.
It really
was
gone
though.
either way in my
opinion. It could have. Yeah,
exactly.
I thought Spain were going to do it.
that was the most fun part, was that well into the second half, well into like 60 minutes ish, I didn't know which way it was going.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Italy versus Brazil, 64-3.
The vibes match.
The vibes.
Another vibes match.
My note is just fun, innit?
It's just fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Just throw it
mean,
about.
we don't talk about them that much, just because, and we've discussed it on other episodes, just because we don't get a lot of information about or out of Italy. But man, it feels nice to watch them have fun play rugby. When they're having fun, it's fun for you.
I've really grown to love Italy.
There's a lot to love.
The annoying thing was,
I wish World Rugby paid more attention to them.
I had Mutso on my fantasy team, and she was the only one of the back three that didn't get a hat trick.
Well done.
The only main takeaway, Italy did exactly what I expected them to do, which was just their backs ran absolutely riot. Their back three were just insane. But I will say their place kicking was horrendous.
It was bad.
They got either only one or two.
It's worse than Wales.
Was Solari
No, she wasn't playing
in this match?
No,
Oh, okay, so that was why.
Yeah, so they had two. They did. They had
that was
a new centre partnership, which I think makes sense because it was their free-for-all game. If there is any game that you could test it, it was that game.
And we're speaking about people on the way out. Rigoni is not going to be around forever.
Solari is the same age. Yeah. Solari's actually got more caps than Rigoni. They're not going to go forever.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all fair. But they chose their, I believe, I want to say Grand Zotto maybe tried to kick the first one, or Madeira tried to kick the first one. They didn't get it. And then they switched to the scrum half, and she proceeded to get one in the entire game. Yes.
Whatever, she got it.
She got one out of 11.
Yeah, that's true. However,
or 12.
I say this just because in a chat that Hattie and I are both in, there is a small group of Batanchi believers, of fans, who are just I love it. Just love her story. She's super young, extremely young. In a recent interview, she talked about how she is focusing on this World Cup, but she's also focusing on finishing high school. Which is
well, she's not focusing on place kicking, is she?
Well, she's not focusing on place kicking, is she? And it's extremely cool that she is half Far East Russian, which is cool.
That is cool.
She's mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, just to wrap up, guys, try for the weekend.
So hard.
Yeah, this is
really hard.
I can't remember who scored it, but just the vibes of it was impeccable. And it was the last New Zealand try where they could have just kicked the ball out, but instead they ran the whole thing.
That was so good.
A real teeth.
I'm trying to think who that was.
And then Renee Holmes managed to get the conversion when it was a really difficult conversion. Yeah.
That's when I was fangirling massively.
Was it Sylvia?
I can't remember. It might have been, or it was what's her name? No, I can't remember.
Was it Sai?
The other try left was Ruiz's.
So Ruiz is the one that I was gonna say.
See, the really annoying thing about that is that I was at the other.
You texted me. You texted.
I was in the other area, and I was
on the other side.
There was something a bit magical about that try, though, wasn't there?
Yeah, I could just see this little blonde thing running away.
I was just gonna say, it's when you see a little.
And then they were
men's rugby fans who have been hurt by Faf de Klerk will know this pain.
She's so much better than Faf de Klerk.
Absolutely.
I'm getting cancelled. You're never going to see me again. I'm going to be buried under a patio.
As we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of South Africans in England.
Yeah, that was a great try. And the friend of the pod, Clara, our favourite referee.
Oh God! Best friend
tried to disallow it.
Oh my God, we're gonna get.
She nearly ruined that game for me.
Anyway, we're not gonna go there.
Sorry.
Player of the weekend.
Oh, it's so hard. It's really difficult.
Rita Tafono.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She was.
I think that's a good shout. To be honest, she was insane.
I feel like that game Right, so you know when people talk about Jonah Lomu and they're like,
Yes.
they mention they're like, oh yeah, they were like old English people. They're like, oh yeah, we saw this like big guy in the wing, and we were like, oh yeah, whatever. And then they played that New Zealand versus England game where he just like ran over his
It's my
opposition winger.
favorite game
He
ever.
ran
It's my
through
favorite
people. I
game.
know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's one of the ones that like all of us, even I'm not a huge men's ball knower. I absolutely know that game. I know many phases of play with Lomu in that game.
I can remember where I was when I watched that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I wasn't born then, I don't think.
Right.
Yes, she.
What year was it?
Yes, you were.
It was 95 World Cup.
Yeah, I wasn't born.
So annoying.
So like people look back and they look at that game. I feel like this game is going to be the game people are like, yeah, she'd arrive.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Game of the weekend.
Not Wales, Fiji.
No, honestly,
Which nearly killed me. It's tough.
It's really tough because a lot of like pieces of some of them were important and like either give you something to think about or were amazing or were like heartbreaking, whatever. But in terms of like a whole match, for me, it's Japan Spain. That's one I watched and like it didn't constantly upset me.
I'm gonna say France versus South Africa.
I think
that was the other one. That was my other one. The only reason I didn't is because like it hurt. I wanted
to
do better.
I think,
but
the difference is I was in the stadium and you guys were sat at home, and the vibes were impeccable.
Must have been amazing.
Yeah, I really
there were
enjoyed...
some very loud French people, and there were even louder.
I
South
love French crowds.
Where's the South
honestly,
African
French crowds are the best.
Exeter.
Where's?
I'm not going to that one. I'm very sad.
Yeah, I know. And I wouldn't have even.
I did really enjoy the New Zealand game though, because New Zealand just scored so many amazing tries.
But yeah, I think that was why I brought up. Is I think South Africa New Zealand is probably going to be the game of this weekend. But
I mean, we kind of all know the result, but it's just going to be big vibes.
Yeah,
because I just mean that like everything will feel good.
Yeah. When is that? Oh, I'm going to be on the train.
That early? Oh, it's early for me. My bad.
Oh yeah, we.
Okay, I might have to go to Bristol early.
I do hear that they have the internet in the air these days in England.
Have you tried to use Wi-Fi on a train in the UK?
The train Wi-Fi's are bad.
No.
You don't just have data? You don't just have like your phone?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's trash.
Service. Oh, okay. Oh no. I guess like good. We like our Amtraks have Wi-Fi on them now, but like you have to pay for it.
No, like both the Wi-Fi.
We have
and
Wi-Fi, but
it's terrible. Yeah.
Both are awful.
I know you're gonna try though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. I might have to go to Bristol early to watch the game.
Oh no, not that.
It's not like you, Hattie.
I know, but I don't like mornings, so it could be a.
Folks, as you can tell, we have completely run out of steam. We say this lovingly. We are going to wrap it up here. We are so happy that you have joined us. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if we're going to be releasing our 2 interviews from this week before or after this episode, but if it has already been released, please go take a look. We have had 2 interviews, one with a South African fan, one with a French fan. We had some great conversations there. Be sure to check that out. Otherwise, if they aren't out yet, they will be out soon. Check on Global Gainline. As always, if you have any thoughts on anything we've said, if they are relatively nice, even if they're not nice, just like, please be decent. Put them in the comments, shout them out at us on social media. We are all active pretty much everywhere. One housekeeping announcement, Hattie's The Rugby History Project has moved off of Substack because fuck those Nazis. I hope we can leave that in to our editors. Because of that, she has moved. The Rugby History Project has its own domain now. We can drop a link in the description if needed, but you can absolutely find it on her socials.
It's just the rugbyhistoryproject.com.
She got it, folks. She got the domain. So be sure to check that out. They're both free and paid subscriptions. Consider supporting her if you're loving what you see. You'll get some audio coverage as well, which is awesome. You get to hear her dulcet tones wherever you go. Otherwise, We look forward to seeing you after our first round, or after the round of quarterfinals. Give us your thoughts in the comments, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to the Women's Rugby Treehouse. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us wherever you see us on social. Join us again for more of the same next week, and until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Do you want to go deeper in God's Word? Do you want to walk steadily through Scripture, passage by passage, without skipping around? Well, that's what the Reformed Devotionals Daily podcast is all about. It's a consecutive, faithful, reformed reading of God's Word. Each short episode takes the text as it is, explains it clearly, and then points us to Jesus. So please like and subscribe and follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be nourished by God's Word day by day, then join me.